Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown Atlanta, on this January 11th, 2026. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity, and so am I. So it is. Whoever you are, whatever path brought you here today, please know that you are welcome and celebrated. We know who you are. You are an individualized expression of the divine life in which we all live. We are life's opportunity to be someone unique and wonderful. Whatever ethnic background, religious affiliation, however you know yourself or describe yourself, you are welcome. You're welcome to be part of this community in whatever way serves you. So our vision statement is we are a strong, open, globally connected community centered on the clarity of principle through teaching, service, and practice. We create a safe and respectful environment that supports healthy spiritual growth. And for a little more of who we are, here's our Declaration of Principles as written by our founder, Ernest Holmes.
A few of the Declaration of Principles we live by.
I believe in one God, one absolute power, and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life, and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding.
I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
So grateful. Hey.
So, a practitioner is someone who's demonstrated the ability to use spiritual practice and spiritual laws to bring about great changes in their lives, and they've demonstrated they know how to bring about these changes in others when asked. Licensed by Centers for Spiritual Living, they are available to help you with spiritual guidance and support in the areas where you're looking for assistance. You can reach them through our website, cslmidtown.org. There's a section for the practitioners, and you can reach out to them there. Today, we have one of our amazing practitioners who is going to share with us good ideas and an affirmative prayer called the Spiritual Mind Treatment. Welcome, Maya Fuller.
Thank you, Vance. Good morning. Good morning, CSL Midtown. So happy to be here today on this January 11th, 2026, 1/11/2026. Beautiful day. And Dr. Robert Brzezinski is going to tell us more about it. Today, he is speaking. His talk title is Awakening to the One, the Portal of 111. He says, we are living in a time when the illusion of separation is being challenged like never before. The spiritual invitation of 111 is to awaken, to remember that there is only one presence, one power, one life expressing itself as all creation. This talk is a call to clarity, compassion, courage, and conscious participation in the great unfolding of spirit on earth. He says the moment we awaken to the one, everything changes, including how we see ourselves, one another, and the world we're here to bless. So let us just turn to our treatment time, turning our attention to the realization of this truth that there's only one. So I invite you to settle in your seats. We take a deep breath to relax ourselves. As we relax into this realization, this heart space realization of our oneness with creation, we recognize that this New Thought metaphysical teaching has as its first basic principle, that there's only one presence, one power in the universe, infinite intelligent life. This one can never be divided against itself. It is creation itself. It is omniscience. It is omnipresence. It is omnipotence itself. And the wonderful thing about this one is that since nothing can be separated from it, I'm always connected to it. I'm always one with it. I am made of this. Every I am, every being on this planet is made of this one beautiful creation that cannot be separated against itself. It is therefore oneness itself, connection itself, love itself, and its nature is loving, giving, creative. And that is my nature too, and that is your nature too, and that is the nature of all beings. And we're here to recognize this truth. We come together as a spiritual community to remind ourselves of this truth. We come here today to hear this powerful message by Reverend Brzezinski to remind ourselves of this truth with a deep conviction, deep connection to the awareness of our oneness. So we just give thanks that we have a wonderful experience of deeper realization, expanded consciousness, expanded feeling of connection, expanded awareness of our oneness through this session today. We know that wonderful things unfold as a result of that. And we celebrate in advance the beautiful experiences of life that we have as a result of our consciousness being expanded to this awareness of our oneness and our power in this oneness with God. So we just give thanks and we allow this to be even greater than our expectations of good for the highest and best of all concerned and healthy, life-affirming ways. We give thanks and we let it be. And so it is.
So it's my pleasure to introduce Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski. As Maya said, Dr. Brzezinski holds a master's in consciousness studies from the Holmes Institute, a doctor of divinity from the Emerson Institute. He's an ordained minister of religious science and considers him a lifelong student of transformational leadership. He's currently the spiritual director and creative director of New Thought Media Network, which is where we're broadcasting from today, and the spiritual director for the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley Teaching Center. He serves on the board of the directors of the affiliated New Thought Network and the executive board for the International New Thought Alliance. Dr. Robert is passionate about building spiritual community in the physical and virtual worlds. He's been answering calls to support individuals and organizations along the journey of enlightenment. He's a dynamic spiritual teacher, passionate professional speaker, and New Thought visionary. Welcome, Dr. Robert. Thank you. You're muted.
Yes, I was. Thank you, Vance. Thank you so much. And thank you, Maya, for that wonderful prayer. Thank you to everyone that's making this possible. Brother Diego in the background, pushing the buttons, and those that set up the invitation. It's so good to be back with you again, CSL Midtown. I'm grateful to be here this morning with you. We are exploring oneness. And I think what we've experienced so far this morning has been a great lead-in for me because it demonstrates what happens when we put a powerful intention into the universe. Those that know me know that I can often wait until the last minute to come up with a talk title and a description and all that kind of stuff. And your folks there are wonderfully patient with me whenever they make an invitation to come speak. And I was given a few opportunities or a few different chances and dates, and I started looking at them and I'm hemming and hawing and I'm looking at my calendar. And then I realized, wait a minute. That date in January is 111. That's a whole bunch of ones stacked up. I want that date. I want that date. That's going to be special. I did not consult the lunar calendar, so I was not aware that it's a full moon season, and I did not consult all kinds of other. I just looked at the numbers, and I thought to myself, what could be more fun than to speak on 111? And then I recognized that, well, it's 2026, so there's another one. 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 6 is 10, and 10 is really just 1 because there is no 0, there's just 1. So we got a whole bunch of ones stacked up in our life today. And I scribbled this out, and I wrote out a quick description, and I cast it into the universe. And that great intention has become what we've experienced here today. Songs of oneness, prayers of oneness, recognition that we deeply are one. And that's been one of the themes I've adopted over the last number of years. I have t-shirts and sweatshirts and coffee mugs with my ministry that say, deeply, we are one. Now, I understand that if I look at the conditions and the experiences of what's going on in the world today, it can seem otherwise. There's plenty of opportunity to see that, well, a sense of division or to feel separate. And I believe there's quite a bit of, well, misplaced power being invested into messages, platforms, expressions, trying to convince us that we're not one, that we're separate, that there is a great separation happening in our country today. And I believe that is not the truth. In reflecting for this talk, something came to mind that I don't often speak about. And it goes way, way back into my early teenage years. Some of you may have remembered reading the Lord of the Rings saga. Or maybe some of you are a little younger than I am and you didn't read the books, but you watched the movies. That's okay too. And there's a very crucial portion of that where in the books, they start to talk about, Tolkien writes about the massing of power and the movement of the dark forces and the building of Mordor's dark legions, if you will. And in the movie, they represent this as those legions creating tunnels and pathways with canvas covering so that the eye of the white of the good side couldn't see what they were doing. And yet the wizards and the hobbits and the elves, they all knew what was happening. They knew that there was this force, not truth, a force that was promoting and propagating the dark side. I think we're living in those times. I know we're living in those times again. And we see it in so many places. And it can look overwhelming. It can feel overwhelming when we turn on the news or we turn on our Facebook or our other or Instagram or any of the social media platforms. Let's be real. There's a lot of money and a lot of energy being put into a message that says we are not enough, that says we are separate, that says there are those that are deserving and those that are not. This isn't about politics, people. This is about humanity. And what I remember from those books, from the Lord of the Rings, is that the powers for good, they knew what was going on. They weren't being hoodwinked. They weren't being they were able to see, and they were working in concert, not to run away, but to prepare for the great day when the light would return, when the great awakening would occur. I also believe right now we are in that state of awakening. Now, there's many that have said, hey, we've been awakening for a while now, Robert. I personally have been in this philosophy over 20 years. I know some of you have as well. And whether you're brand new to this or you've been hanging out around New Thought and Science of Mind and religious science for decades, we've known of this great awakening. And what I see is more and more and more people that are awakening. Every day I see people online that are beginning to question what they've been fed, that are beginning to question what they see. I'm going to badly paraphrase the author George Orwell at the moment, because somewhere in his book, 1984, he reminds us that the people were told to not believe what they see with their own eyes. And that was the greatest misgiving of all. It's a hard fact that we live in what many call a post-truth world. Not to mean that there is not truth. And in religious science, science of mind, we like to capitalize the word truth to mean divine truth. Not just the human truth. We all have our human truth. Someone asked this week, what would happen? What could I change in my life if I slowed down something, anything in my life? How would my life be better if I chose to slow down in one area or another? And I kind of half humorous and half realistically wrote, driving. My life would be a lot better if I slow down when I'm driving. You got to remember, I'm a white kid. I can drive as fast as I want and not worry about getting pulled over. Not saying that's right, just saying that's what is. We are here to change those old limitations. We are here to awaken to the truth that there is a greater perspective in front of us. There is a greater opportunity in front of us. And so I've started saying that we are awakening to our awakening. As a human culture, as a human race, we are starting to awaken to the fact that awakening is our natural path. We're not here to stay asleep. And we have countless artists and musicians that are reminding us, don't go back to sleep. It's okay if we slept through some things, but don't go back to sleep. Once we have awakened to the oneness of life, the equality of life, the equity that is available to us, that everyone is our brother and our sister. We can't allow ourselves to be lulled back to sleep by those that would tell us not to believe what we see with our own eyes. In today's world of the internet and social media and now with AI creation, and I'm not here to vilify artificial intelligence by any means. I think it does great work in helping us to see how we can be together in relationship. Recently, I was in a class, and I'm not teaching this class. I'm experiencing this class. And the setup for the class was we had to write a list of 101 things that we would like to do, be, or have in the remainder of our lifetime. Sounds easy, right? And not so easy. Not without repeating things. Or just writing down, I'd like to have pizza on Friday night. And when we got to the class, people are sharing their stuff, but da-da-da and da-da-da. And the instructor says, okay, now everybody wants the cheat code, right? And we all kind of said, yeah, I want the cheat code. He says, go use the AI. And I'm going to encourage you to do this afternoon. If you have an AI model of any sort that you like to use, go into that AI model and say, and write a prompt that says, with everything you know about me, my life, and my work, what are 100 things that I would like to have, do, or be with what remains of my time here on the planet? I want to tell you the response was fascinating. What came back? It wasn't about cars or houses or ministries or programs or classes. It was the feeling attitude. It was the expression. Interestingly enough, my wife and romantic partner did the same thing. And her list and my list went, wow, what happens if we put these together in our chat? And so we did. I took my list, and I took her list, and I copied them both, and I put them back into the AI model. And I said, knowing everything about these two lists, share with us, where are the alignments? Where do we overlap? And also, where might we not be aligned? Where might these lists deviate from each other? Again, the results were absolutely fascinating. And we haven't had the chance just yet because the class was only Thursday night. So we're working on it, but we're going to sit down and we're going to go through these things line by line and look at them and say, this is accurate. Nah, this, I don't know if it's totally accurate. Coming to a better understanding of our oneness. Now imagine if we had the time to do that with the people we're arguing with on Facebook. I'm sorry, wait, maybe I'm the only one that's having an argument with somebody on Facebook. But if you're in a disagreement with somebody, imagine if we took the time to allow AI to support us in coming to a greater understanding, a greater realization of where we really are one, where we really do think alike. And where the differences we may see are merely illusions that are being propagated by those that are misusing the law. But we have this great creative law in our lives. Some use it for good. Others, not so much. And I call that a misuse of the law. Doesn't mean the law is broken. Doesn't mean the person is broken. Doesn't mean that the person is wrong or bad or evil. It doesn't mean that they're directing the forces of darkness. It just means they're misusing the law. They haven't fully awakened yet. And so in this post-truth world, what is most important, I believe, are real life humans, people that I can reach out and connect with. When I see a post by someone like Vance or Maya or others in your community, John Carn, I know that, and I can trust that there is truth there, that there is reality there, because, well, I've had the chance to hug them. I've had conversations with them. I've met them in person. And so I know they're not just some AI Russian bot instigator out here trying to tick me off by telling me, I had someone this week telling me I'm a traitor to humanity. I was very happy to see most of my colleagues respond to that with a laughing emoji. Who do we know? Who do you know that you can reach out to and sit down and have a conversation with? Go to coffee with, go to lunch, invite them over for dinner. I love that your community both gets together virtually and in the physical form so that you know who is real and you can hang out together. And for those that are going to hang out together in the Zoom room after, we get to know that there's real thought going on here. That you are the embodiment of oneness. This isn't just theory. This isn't just good words that we read in a book. This isn't just some lesson that we get in a classroom. It isn't just some lecture we listen to on YouTube. It's an opportunity to fully embody our oneness and cast aside that impulse to see separation. Now, no one has to raise their hand in here, but I want you to think back to the last time you were in the supermarket. And this is a very natural human thing. Think about the last time you were in a supermarket and you saw somebody wearing a t-shirt or a certain colored hat that you don't agree with. Where did your body go? Now, to me, this is that embodiment. If my embodiment goes to, you're wrong. You shouldn't be wearing that t-shirt. You shouldn't be saying that online. If that's where the embodiment goes, just feel that energy. Ugh. I have long believed that New Thought as a whole, the philosophy of unity and divine science and religious science, science of mind, and the newer versions of that are emerging in the human culture, that all of that collectively is the fountain of youth. I also had someone online tell me this week that I don't look anywhere near 59. I turned 59 last month. We are the fountain of youth because we embody that sense of timeless connection, that oneness of life. Throughout our entire literature, there is the principle that we are immortal beings, that we live in eternity, that we transcend time and space. Not always in this human body. And at a certain point, we will all cast aside this human body to move into the greater dimensions of livingness. For many, we got the news yesterday that happened to a cultural icon in the United States. And so our hearts and our prayers are with the family of Bob Weir today. Because he came to that point where somehow, some way, his soul knew he could no longer fulfill the mission he was here to fulfill in that human body, and made his transition into the greater dimensions of livingness, the greater dimensions of oneness. There's nothing lost in the one. And our culture speaks of it. Our language speaks of it. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is your life, my life, all life, right now. Today is truly no different than any other day. We just happen to stack up a bunch of Roman single numerals. Tomorrow is the portal of 112. And 1 is 1, and 1 is 1, and 2 is really not a number. It's just 1 plus 1. So 2 is just 1 as well. So we could say tomorrow is the portal of 111. 1, 1, 1. And prime numbers do the same thing. Prime numbers 3, 5, 7, 11. They're just ones stacked up together, and we think they represent something else, or we make them mean something else. And at the heart of it all reduces back to the one. Give me any number you want in the world, and I can reduce it back to the one. 168, 1 and 6 is 7, 7 and 1 is 15, 5 and 1 is 6, but 6 is really just 3 and 3. And as we just explained, 3 is 1 plus 1 plus 1. So it's really just 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. And there we are. Everything comes back to the one. And that is why for many years now, if you've ever received an email from me, every email I've written for the last couple of decades starts by saying, "Dear ones, we are each vital aspects of this oneness. We are each necessary voices in the cacophony of voices that are out there. We get to bring the truth to this post-truth world, but we have to embody it." So I just chose today because, well, it looked like a cool number. And you may notice this in your life. It's a mindfulness practice. How often do you see 11:11 on your clock? How often do you see 2:22 on your clock? How often do you see 3:33 on your clock? Pick a number, any number. We use these tools to be mindful, to remind ourselves that even in the midst of a Facebook argument, even in the midst of what may seem like a rotten, horrible, no good, very nasty day, even in the midst of what appears to be an authoritarian overthrow of our government, we are one. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. We are the ones that make a difference. We are the ones that are here to change the world. And here's the important part, folks. We are the ones that are evolving human consciousness. Not the ones that sit on the sideline and watch it happen. I have yet in my 20 plus years to walk into a religious science, a new thought community, a unity community, a spiritual community of any space, of any stripe, and not been able to find that everyone, even those that are sitting in the back row for the first 6 weeks, even those that have no idea why their cousin drug them down to this place, even those that are like, what is going on here? We all bring a consciousness to this thing called life. And so my invitation to you today is to bring a consciousness of oneness, a consciousness that says, we are all in this together. And I may not be able to see your perspective. I may not believe like you do. I may not wear the same clothes or listen to the same music. But it all comes back to the one. And I fully believe that no matter how far right or how far left somebody might be, if we sit down with an open heart and an honest approach, we will find the similarities, we will find the alignment, we will find the oneness. If nothing else, it's a belief that coffee is lifeblood. Not for me. I can't stand the stuff. Give me a good cup of tea, a nice strong cup of black tea, and we're all good. But you can drink your coffee. I can sit at a meal and sit across from someone having a steak, even if I'm a vegetarian. Deeply we are one. Deeply, say that. Deeply we are one. Sometimes I have to work a little to find that oneness, but I guarantee you it's there. I've recently been doing some work in another class. If you haven't figured it out, I really like to be in classes. And this one's around forgiveness. And in this, I keep coming back to the place where I've been limiting my own experience of life because of the judgments I hold of others. And I have some people in my history, in this movement, that I feel have done me wrong. Maybe you do too. And what I have found is as I process through these things, as I work and do my inner work of forgiveness, I'm better able to see the oneness behind the veil, behind the smoke screen that has been put between us. And let's be honest, there's a lot of smoke screens being thrown around lately. Let's take the time to look beyond that veil, to look beyond the fog, to look beyond the smoke screens and see the human, the one, the dear one. That is my challenge to you this week. Each and every day, online or in person, at the supermarket, driving on the highways. Look for the one. Look for the love. And let's celebrate that. If you're in a safe enough space to close your eyes, I invite you to please do so. We're going to go upstairs. We're going to go upstairs in consciousness. And we close our eyes not to separate ourselves, but to eliminate the distractions so we may come to a vibrational essence, so we may feel the vibrational connection between ourselves and our colleagues, our friends, whether online or in the same room as we are. Perhaps they're not even watching this, or perhaps they're off in the kitchen making breakfast or out in the garage doing a project. And when we close our eyes, we tune into that collective vibration of the one. That one power, that one presence, that one infinite intelligence that is moving and breathing and having its being as all of life, that one source, that one self-existent cause that is right now taking on form as your life. It's my life, as all life, as those I agree with and those I don't understand, those I might not even like. Those that may never hear these words, that may never come to an awakening of this truth, I feel that vibrational connection that says deeply we are one. And into that vibration, I make a choice. I choose to share love. I choose to share joy. I choose to share a vision of prosperity and peace for all. See, we are all transceivers of this good, of this oneness. We transmit and we receive. And we've heard it said in many ways, the more I give, the more I receive, the more I receive, the more I have to give. We are cycling this vibration of love and light and beauty, of truth and health and wealth and well-being and abundance and prosperity. We are cycling these vibrations. We come to receive so that we may give, and as we give, we may receive. We are transceivers, transmitting and receiving the vibration of oneness. We have opened a portal here today collectively, and there may be those that choose to stay on this side, but I believe and I claim for each one here a sense of stepping through that portal, stepping into a new consciousness, stepping into making the choice to propel ourselves into a new way of being, a new way of seeing, so that in a moment when we open our eyes, not now, but in a moment when we open our eyes again, we will see the world differently. We will see the vibration of love and light abounding all around us. We will see that vibration of oneness, of connection, of compassion and love. We will never again recognize or empower that separation. We will step into true oneness and call it good, and call it very good. Oh, I am in that state of absolute gratitude. I feel the vibration of gratitude rising up into this prayer for the reminder of our oneness, for the opportunity to see differently with new eyes as we come back into this room. And it is so from that gratitude that I release this word into the creative law of life, into that creative law that cannot return this word void, that must make this word manifest, that must, and in fact is already operating upon this word to bring forward everything necessary for its fulfillment. Life is good. And so again, I release this word into that law and invite you to join me in the affirmation of truth that makes it so by simply saying, And so it is. And so, and so, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Robert. We'll see you on Zoom in just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see you on the Zoom.
All right. So now it's time for our new minister sacred covenant prayer, which you can find on our website, cslmidtown.org. Scroll down a little bit and you can download this PDF. There's only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of spirit as principle. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God. For it is written, principle is not bound by precedent. It operates according to the law and is always available to those who are willing to align themselves with it. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister before me as inspiring spiritual oneness through wisdom, love, and authenticity. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself. For I am inspired to live as love in the expression of principle. I am awakening the wisdom within me by clearly communicating the principles of universal truth. I am a conduit of divine love, wisdom, and healing energy, recognizing the inherent wholeness within all beings. I am offering teachings, classes, and mystical studies grounded in spiritual principles to cultivate inner wisdom, personal transformation, and empowered living. I am extending the love, compassion, and transformative power of spirit into the wider community, fostering connections that heal, uplift, and support individuals in their unique journeys. As I now accept this highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will express spirit and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful. God is gracious, and so it is. So, we want to thank everybody that participated today. Robert, Diego, Maya, Judy, everybody that came and participated and helped with everything. I want to thank you for your ongoing contributions. We appreciate you. Without you, we wouldn't be here. So you can donate online at cslmidtown.org/donate. You can scan the QR code. You can set up an ongoing donation or do a one-time donation. And say with me our affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow. And all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. We got a few announcements. One related to prosperity. We have a special donor who has stepped up to support us with our in-person monthly sessions at the Garden Hills Community Center, which costs us $180 a month to be there. And they've got a matching donation to help support that. So if you want to step into that, please do. Next Sunday, Cause and Effect by Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson. So we're glad to have Raymond back with us next week. Every Sunday at 10 a.m., the adult study group meets on Zoom. So you can get there by going to our website, cslmidtown.org, scroll down to the Zoom channel, click on that. It will take you right to that. And you can go into the meeting room and discuss what they're going through, this Science of Mind textbook. You don't have to read it already. You can just come and join. There's a special event coming up next Saturday, 1 p.m. You should have got an email about this if you're on our mailing list. So if you're in town, 1 p.m. Saturday, January 17th, at the Trinity Center, which is over on Zonalite. And the trinitycsl.life is their website to get the address there. So anybody that you know that's interested in New Thought, it's a coming together for a few of our centers. Trinity, us, and the West Georgia Church are all joining together to do this. So we'd welcome you to be there, participate. Know that there are other centers here too. So that's just a homecoming to celebrate, remember, enjoy. There's going to be music, light refreshments, and a good time. So that starts at 1 p.m., goes to about 3. So it's only a couple of hours. Looking forward to seeing you there. And now let's do our affirmation of life. I leave this place now knowing something greater than I know before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me. And so it is. So if you want to have a discussion with Reverend Dr. Robert, join us over on Zoom if you're not already there. And have a great week, everybody.